With the geometry of this block, you don't need skill cases. The setup by your project manager with your story poles, and then the geometry of the block with the 3/8 concave, you just need somebody who can pick this up and set it, and be able to set it to, you know, a defined point that the project manager sets up. So no, this is what I was talking about with dramatically dropping the cost of labor and the skill of your labor force. So on your first course, when you're bonding to your foundation, you kind of have a mock foundation here, cardboard, not really going to hold up, but you're going to want to use Portland and sand instead of your slurry mix. The mixes kind of vary depending on what kind of materials you have there, but it's generally a 2 scoops for Portland, 3 scoops sand. So that is going to bond. Again, like materials bond, so you're going to be bonding to a concrete foundation, your blocks, you're going to want to use that Portland and sand mix. So the dirt for your slurry is comprised of the same materials that you use to make your block. If your slurry or wall is going to be sitting out in the weather, you're going to need to stabilize your slurry to protect it from the elements. So if your blocks have 6% Portland in them, you'd want to put 6% Portland into your slurry mix as well. So as you can see here, we've screened our slurry dirt down to 1/4 inch, and it's the same materials we put into our blocks, and we're just going to saturate it with water to obtain the right consistency. So the water you want to use, you want to make sure that it's not salt water and not gray water. Any kind of tap water has been effective, but the salt and organic matter is the things you want to stay away from when mixing your slurry or making your blocks. Just pull it. Just pull it. And I'll pull it back. So you want your consistency to be pourable. You can see it's just a little bit too sticky right now. So we're going to need to add just a little bit more water. What mixing the slurry with the same material as you've done for your block does is it creates a monolithic wall. It's like putting 2 soap bars together on the sink or the bathtub. Those 2 soap bars made of the same materials, so like materials bond, you come back the next day, they're stuck together. Yep. So that's a pretty good consistency for your slurry. You want it to be workable but pourable. If you're using a natural slurry where you're not incorporating Portland into it, you've got all day with it. You can just keep adding water to it, and you can keep saving it. If you are stabilizing it and putting 6% Portland in it, as soon as that starts to firm up, you've lost your slurry. So you really need to manage your slurry, making sure that not too much is being made, or else you're gonna be wasting money with your Portland. When you lay your corner, the geometry of the block has, due to this 3/8 concave that we're talking about, when you come to your corners, you don't want that 3/8 concave to show. So what the geometry of this block has incorporated into it is a little slurry stop here on the ends. So whenever you come to a corner, you're going to want to make sure that that slurry stop is facing on the outside so that you don't have that 3/8 gap seen from the outside of your wall. As you lay your course down through, it doesn't really matter which way that slurry stop is going. In this case, for this demo, we're not we're not incorporating any vertical reinforcements into it. If we were, it would be best to have them coming up out of the foundation stem wall to begin with, and then stacking your blocks over it. That way you're able to tie into your horizontal reinforcements that are inside your foundation. As your rebar is coming up through, you're going to want to make sure that you're not getting slurry mix into those holes. So you're going to want to be pouring your Portland and sand mixture into that, much the same mix as you used for bonding your first course to your foundation. So as that goes up, you're going to want to first pour your Portland and sand mix into your hole, and then you'd want to pour your slurry mix into the hole next to it. So as you go up, you're not incorporating the slurry into the holes where the Portland should be. Again, you want to make sure that you are keeping your slurry stuff to the outside, and you want to make sure that you're weaving your corners. Then you just press, and as you can see, the excess slurry comes up inside of the holes, so it eliminates the need for the troweling. And you stack it, you slide it. Managing your crews, you're going to want to make sure that you got one guy running your slurry and one guy stacking, because of the speed that this wall system is able to be put together due to the 3/8 concave. You're going to want to make sure that you kind of team this off to be able to maximize your labor force.